If you're watching this video, you either want to know how to paint, how to fix LouBoutins, or you just want to look at some cool LouBoutins. I am designer Teri Edmonds. I have a shoe store in Maui, Hawaii. I am the island's only shoe repairer, and I've been in the business for over 20 years. So I have the fortunate luck that I get to see a ton of really cool high-end designer shoes. This client here, we're going to be putting on a sole protector on her LouBoutin. She's already done that before on these other really cute ones. I just had to show you some of these. Oh my gosh. And so she's smart because, you know, the original LouBoutin is just paint on leather, and as you walk, it wears off. This one's not so bad, but it does over time, and she's catching this right away. So the supplies that we're going to be using in this video, they are things that I use all the time in my shoe repair business. And let me just get to my page here, because I want to show you guys. Those of you that are familiar with Amazon, Amazon Live and all of that, and their shopping channels, I have my own shopping channel here on Amazon. And this is what it looks like. It offers everything by category. This happens to be with soling material or gluing. So you can find all kinds of really good things on there. And today I picked for you guys this really great soling material. This is what I use on most everything in different colors. A lot of people who own really nice shoes will they're kind of savvy enough to know that they want to save the soles. For instance, a lot of the soles, like this one here, this LouBoutin, it's hard to really tell by, let me show a different picture. This is easier to see. The leather that they've used for the soles is super thin. So once you wear through that leather, you have to get a new leather half sole on it. So basically you're changing the structure of the shoe. A repair person like myself that's been doing it a long time, I can make it look like it was kind of new. I try to hide it as much as possible. But I say, why do that and spend the extra money when you can just put on a half sole? So this is really great. And then once this stuff wears out, you can pull it off, put another one on. Again, you're not going into the structure of the shoe. So we're using, this is a Topalon, that's what they call it. And it's really great. Comes in a bunch of different colors. We'll be using red today. And then I'm also going to be using, I recommend my Masters I've selected, I believe here. Yeah, the Masters cement. This is the 8-ounce can, and they also offer it in the 4-ounce. 4 ounce is fine for probably one job, but if you were going to try to do like a sneaker or something, that would be about it. So I'd say, you know, step up to the next size, which is the 8-ounce. I, of course, have the gallons of it because I do a lot of shoe repair, and so I take my glue and I mix it into one of these Teflon pots. I didn't put it on the list today, but it's under the gluing shopping list. And it actually really does kind of keep it just fine. Every once in a while I have to add a little bit of Masters thinner to it, but that's about the consistency your glue should be. And inside this can is a brush, is in the lid. So it stays nice, and you don't have to mix in thinner with it because by closing it, it seems to stay pretty well as long as you use it within a certain period of time, maybe 6 months. Okay, and then the other item, and then the other thing I'm gonna, okay, let's go over items still. Razor blades. I like this razor blade because it is an easy switch out. And on my last soling video, I put a link to this, to a razor blade like this. So see how easy that is? It doesn't take a screwdriver. It's just this little twisty handle thing here. And what I can recommend especially are these replacement blades. I have tried so many different varieties because I go through razor blades like crazy. I use them a lot. I use them to trim, which is what I'm going to show you today. And then moving on, we're also going to be using the Angelus Paint. Yesterday, oh, I forgot to show you guys. I finished the sneaker from yesterday's video and it's awesome. Maybe you have to check out the YouTube because I put the finished picture on it. Walk on Red. This is a great color. It really is intended for the LouBoutins. What I will say though is that the LouBoutins are a little bit more of a blue red than the Walk on Red. But I'm going to use this Walk on Red because it matches the orange red that I've got in this taupey right here. So I want to, at the very end, once I put this on, I'm going to go around the edge of the shoe and I'm going to paint, because when let me give you an example quickly. When we're going to trim, if we accidentally hit the leather sole, or we're sanding and we kind of sand that leather sole, it's lighter underneath this tint that they put on it afterward. So you're going to have a lighter color. So I like to go through and take my red and just trim it out. So that's what we're going to do. But I will say, so this is a real LouBoutin, and it's kind of this bluish red. This one's a little dark. You could lighten it up, but this one's also nice. This is just the basic red is kind of a nice red color. Look at that. That looks good. And then I have this really fun chili red, which is kind of a brighter orange. Like that. It's kind of a brighter orange. But like I said, I think today we're gonna go ahead and use the Walk on Red. And as you can see, they are just about the right color. So there we go. Also, paint brushes. Oh my gosh. I do a lot of painting in my store. So yesterday I was trying to show you guys this kit. It comes with 50 of the paint brushes. I put a list on here, the Bosobo paint brushes. This one comes in a pack of 5. So it's just this. They come in these little packs, and I was saying that, and they have all the great brushes on them. It doesn't come with the fan brush or the dagger brush, but it's a good assortment. I buy them by the bucket load because I do a lot of dyeing, and when I use a brush to dye a brush, it turns it a color. So obviously this was used on black, and I was doing a really big piece of leather, so I used this black brush, or I used this brush. The dye has turned it black, and now it's really only good for black dye. So I have a couple of brushes set aside for black, brown, etc. Okay, and let's see here. So I think that's about it. I want to tell you that, you know, I'm doing this video for you so that you can do it at home. If it were me working in my shop, I want to give you guys a little look. Okay, hold on. So this is my workshop. I have to do it on here. There is my workshop in the back. I don't know how well you can see all that back there. See that? It's pretty fun. And someday I'm going to give you guys a tour. There we go. But I have this big sander in the back here behind me. Let me fix that angle now. And I would actually sand these very, very smooth. Hold on. Okay, so, but I think you can do this at home, and it's really fun. So with that in mind, let's just go ahead and get started. Step number 1, oh, and also I do sanitize all of these shoes. Hold on. That's the problem with moving your camera. Hold on, guys. Okay, so I like to use the thicker gloves because I'm going to be using this razor knife, and I really like to have a little extra protection. Hello, what is with my camera? Sorry, guys. Let's do that again. There we are. Okay, how are we? Okay. All right, so like I said, I thought just before I get started, I want to show you some of these other little LouBoutins. I mean, hello, aren't those so cute? Oh my gosh. You know, I could wear heels like that, but I think I'm too old. My days are over for that. Look at that. Isn't that so sassy? I mean, I kind of envy LouBoutin because he's just been able to do whatever they want for fun. And they're not very practical. But isn't that pretty? I love that color. It's a fun color. And I really like I like when LouBoutin does their platforms. Their platforms are certainly pretty. I found a cute one that I put on the shopping list today that I thought, you know, was kind of fun to look at and see if you guys are looking around for something that maybe isn't as expensive as a LouBoutin. So here we go. Let's go ahead, and I'm using a sandpaper, and I'm going to go ahead and sand. Well, first I'm going to mark the shoe. So, and we've got a certain amount of time together today, but if we don't get to do the whole thing from beginning to end, you can always watch the recast on my YouTube channel. So here we go. I'm going to make a little mark on here as to where I want my line, where I want to glue this. Okay. Then I'm going to take my sandpaper, and it can be kind of messy, so we really want to get a nice, I'm going to be super accurate. I mean, if you made a mistake and went over your line, you could always cover it up with paint later. But the idea is to make it look as blended as possible. I'm using a medium grit, I'd say. And it really helps. You want to do this not only to remove any remaining dirt that's on there, but you also want to give this plastic a rough surface with which to stick. Some of the other things, let me do this so that you can see. There we go. Really nice. And you don't have to remove all of the paint. I would as a professional, because I've got a nice big sanding machine in the back, and it just grinds it right down. But this is fine. It would totally work. Wow, take some muscles. That's all right. It keeps our muscles working. That's great, though. It's super fun, you guys. This is so easy. You can put on your favorite show and just get your craft done. Okay, so there we are. Very nice. So that's about as much as we're going to do there. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and... there we go, we'll dust that off. And let's get to this side. We're going to go ahead and apply the glue. Oh, also, I would go ahead and sand the inside of the plastic, because this one, I have a feeling it would stick anyway. But I've learned through years of experience that some plastics don't like to stick unless you kind of rough up the surface. Go. Very nice. And now I'm going to apply my glue. This shirt is fun. Like I said, showed you where the glue was, and usually I recommend using the glue in a well-ventilated area. Hello, that's why. Okay, let me do this one. I'm actually going to change the heel caps on all of these shoes. Her soles seem to be fine, but probably as like an extra touch because she brings me so much fun business. I will probably go ahead and paint the edges of all of these shoes, redo them, because they don't look very good. Like, right, somebody else did it, not me. But see, they're kind of real. I'm gonna get closer so you can see. Let's see if I can get really close. Okay, there you go. You can see that leather there. See that tan line? Well, I like to have it finished with the red because it looks so finished and just gorgeous. So that's what I'll do. Except for this one. See, I like this guy did it right. This, whoever her shoe cobbler did this one, I just met this gal, but see, she's got, the side is painted. And I think that's how it probably was originally. So that's what I would do on that. Angelus, of course, is offered in so many colors. Let me see if I gave you guys the color chart. I guess, oh, I only put the walk-on red. But on my Amazon shopping cart, there's a whole collection of Angelus paints in the 1 ounce. And for anybody with that's not a professional, it would be just fine. I know it's hard to shop online sometimes and not know which one to buy, but those would be just fine. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm only applying that paint, that glue, up to the line. And you want to get the glue all the way to the edges evenly. There we go. And I'm going to glue the other side. Let me make sure I've got the right sole. I seem to be getting them so confused today. Okay, there we go. You're going to glue both sides and wait about 15 to 20 minutes to put it together. And that is because this is contact cement. I have a whole slew of videos on my YouTube channel, and I think I have one on Amazon. I'll make sure to include one. But there's a whole technique to using this glue. If you do enough shoe repair, or you're thinking about doing more shoe repair for yourself, then I'd say really look at the video. Anyways, 15 minutes, and when they cure, they're gonna be kind of tacky, but not wet. And then I'm gonna stick it together, and it sticks. So if I put them together wet, they would move around, and they take a while to cure, and it's just not a really good seal. You got this cushion of glue inside. So I say let them dry. You'll see it. I'm going to do the other one while we're waiting for this to dry, and then we'll put it together. And then you don't need the shoe jack like I have and all that other stuff. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and mark my line. And I like to put them right about there. Once you start bending around the back of the shoe like this, it gets tricky. You get little corners you have to deal with right here. I like to put it right to the edge like that, so it'll go right about there. Okay, and that's where I'm going to mark my line. The other way you can know, like if it's a men's shoe, you want to put like right here, you can tell where her foot strikes, right? It's this pattern right here, and it ends right about here. So I want to make sure that my taupey material goes past that, right? Because the point is to save the shoe. So here we go. Sand it again. Easy peasy. This is so easy. This is so easy, you guys. I've seen some, I guess, I don't know, because there are a lot of people that live on Maui. I have some really great clients. I get to see Gucci's, Prada's, LouBoutins. Oh my gosh, it's so great. As a cobbler, I also, people can send me their shoes. I have a website, teriedmonds.com, and I have my shoe repair form on there, and you can contact me that way through email about your questions, but people send me their shoes from all around. It's really great. Or handbags, things like that. There we go. As a matter of fact, I just did a video on how to dye satin shoes, and the client was getting married. She's on the mainland, and that was really fun. I got to dye her shoes. I did a whole video on it. Gosh, takes some muscles. Anyway, here we go. That looks pretty good. I want to make sure I really take it down. Any dirt eats away at glue. So if your soles are coming unglued, it's probably because either the glue's dry or you've got dirt in them. Like I get a lot of golfers, because golfers go in the sand trap a lot, and so the sand eats away at the glue. So that's what I want to make sure to get all the dirt off, because otherwise it will slowly erode at my gluing. Very nice. And if for some chance, by some chance, the paint, the original paint is flaking, you really need to get that off, because it will just lift and you'll have wasted your whole project. Go. All right, so now, oh, remember, I just did this one with you guys, so I'll go ahead and glue here. I also have this glue gun. It's really an oil can, and I got it from Napa Auto Parts, but I'm sure Amazon has one. Shoot, I should find one and put it on my Amazon gluing. But this is great, because if there are just little tiny areas, detailed areas that you want to get into, this is what I use this for. You know, it can get into a sandal, the toe piece of a sandal. You can squish this in there and shoot some glue and let it dry. So a lot of good reasons to have one of these if you're going to do shoe repair. Okay, here we go. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I see people are watching, and it's so wonderful. I'm so excited. I totally want to get chat going. But here we go. Painting with glue is like painting with paint. It's the same idea. You want to put on a nice smooth layer. You want it all to be even. I was taught to do one way like this, and then another way like this. There you go. So you make sure that the glue gets everywhere. And we'll do this one. I'm going to do a video just on all the pictures of the different LouBoutins that we've had come through here, because they're pretty awesome. It's really fun. They and Gucci does some really fun, like candy store kind of shoe things. Not too practical, but very fun. All right, so we're gonna take a look at this. Now while that's drying, let's go ahead and we'll do some painting on these. Yeah, these are super fun. Got to love them. Very, very nice. All right, so this color is a little bit, actually, I think, let's look at these. It's got the black, just double checking. Okay. All right, so here we go. I think I'm gonna try to find a little bit deeper red. And it looks like this red will be really nice. So here we go. I find that these Angelus, they last a really long time. They don't get too, they don't get clumpy and things. So in these little jars, they come with the brush. but I don't love those brushes for accuracy. This one, the Walk On Red, does not come with a brush. So I'm going to use, out of my fun selection of paintbrushes, I'm actually going to use something that's a little firm, like these little square ones. I love these. I hope you can see that. But it's really firm, and I'll be able to just get a straight line. So here we go. And also they are water-based. So if you make a mistake, don't sweat it. You can go right back over with water and it'll clear right up, okay? All right, so now I'm just going to use my beautiful brush, and I'm just going to go right over the edges there. Ooh, so nice. And this is what I'm going to do once this glue dries on this other shoe and I trim it. Very nice. Ooh, that looks so sharp. It just really pops out. And when I get my live set up, I'm dying to know where you guys are watching from. Okay? All right, I think it's pretty good. It could stand to dry a little bit longer, but for the sake of the show, let's just keep going. All right, and some water. I should have water for this. I'll clean that out in a minute. All right, here we go. As a professional, I have a shoe jack, and it's shaped like a foot upside down, and it goes inside the shoe like this. And you can work with it and you can hammer onto it, which is pretty cool. But because you're at home and you don't have those things, we're just going to do it like this. All right, so I'm going to be super accurate and just put my pad where I drew my line. There we go. Nice. And it's sticky enough. It's definitely going to stick, I can tell. So there we go. And you would just press it down, and the suggestion is you start with the middle like this, and you press it out like that, so that it takes any air pockets or anything like that and pushes them out to the outside. Okay. There you go. Like that. And so here we are. It's got a nice, there's no edges that are exposed. It's just real, it's a nice tight seal around there. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my knife. I'm going to change out my knife to a new one. I like to give this tutorial for people that haven't, a lot of experience with a box cutter. And so you push in from the bottom. These razor blades, they go up to this top part here. And then you just slide out like that. Okay, it's so easy. Then you just set it right inside the razor knife, like that. There we go, very nice. Okay, one of the other tips when I'm using my razor knife is that I never take this and do this. I always do this, okay? I've had times where, you're pulling on the material and this will just slip right through. So you wanna make sure it's not gonna slip right through this way. So, I'm gonna just get started there, okay? And because you're doing this from home, take your time, because you wanna get it as close as possible with one smooth pull, because afterwards we're going to go through and we're going to sand it and make it really smooth. You want that smooth look so it doesn't look funny. So I'm going to just get in there, and I'm going to get nice and close like that. And I'm gonna do, there we go. I just did a Birkenstock video, how to resole Birkenstocks, and it's the same idea. Because most of you don't have a big sander kind of thing at home, this is the best way to do it. Cut it, just cut it nice and smooth. Okay, now the other thing is I can see a couple of little spots where it needs to be better glued. Okay, so I'm going to use my glue gun. And you know, this glue pot, I don't know if you guys can see it, it looks like a volcano. But you know, I tell you, I've cleaned that thing so many times and it just keeps getting glue all over it. So if you get yourself one, don't be surprised. Just getting the, there we go. Make sure I've got a nice towel here. All right. I don't like getting clothes. Once you get glue on your clothes or things, it doesn't come out. So just try to mind your clothes. That's why I wear these aprons. All right, so this is really great. I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little shot of glue right in that spot there so it doesn't get all over the shoe. It's the same thing with other shoes like sneakers and stuff. The more that you make a mess on the shoe, the harder it is to get the job done right. So I'm gonna let that set for a minute because I'm gonna just show you closely. There is, coming over here. So there is this ridge right here, right there. And I'm gonna trim that so that it lies flush with this. It's gonna be nice and a nice smooth transition, okay? That is, you know, it's just one of the techniques. I'm gonna get another shot of glue in here. And this, I'm just gonna let this sit while I work on this other shoe. Let's go ahead. All right, nice. You can tell by how it feels like it's not wet, it's not goopy. So that's our cue that we're good to go. All right, so here we are. Right there. And again, I'm going to go straight down the middle. Okay, start that way. And then I'm going to go out to the sides, like that. This is very good. You could, if you were extra ambitious, you could grab a little hammer and just kind of tink, 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 you know, hammer it together. But as long as you're giving it good pressure and you've let the glue dry long enough, you should be fine. Okay, checking all my edges before I start messing with it. Looks really good. And right there, very nice. Okay, here we go again. See, these razor knives, replacement blades, are so good. I can do job after job after job with them before I have to replace them. And I've not found that with any other brand. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, something else fun. This, I'm lining my blade with this part of the platform right here. I know that if my blade is going level with it, that I'm going to have a nice close cut. And I'm making sure not to cut the shoe itself. I'm taking my time. And I'm going to tell you, I am an expert at using these razor knives, so unless you're some fancy wizard with these blades, I'd say take your time. Go All right, it is Friday today. Isn't that awesome? I am so excited. It is my birthday tomorrow, so I am going to the top of, we have this mountain peak, Haleakala on Maui, and it's 10,000 feet. We are going to go up there and watch the sunset. That's going to be so awesome. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, that looks really good. And I don't need to touch it up. I got all that gluing right. So now I'm going to go ahead and again, I'm going to put my knife in line with this right here. And I'm going to just make that work so that doesn't, when she's wearing it, doesn't get caught on things, you know, like, okay, so here we go. I like to hold it close to me so I have a little bit more control. Oh yeah, real nice. Bravo! I love it. I love it, I love it. That's great. Get this side a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna show you what that looks like. See where we are? I don't have that big ridge there anymore. Now I'm going to go ahead and sand it just a little bit to smooth it out some more, okay? And like I said, the better the job that you do with the knife, the less of this you're going to have to do. Oh, it looks really great around the side. Yeah, that looks really nice. So I'm just going to get a little bit there. There we go. You know, even if you had a really good nail file, probably, if it had a really rough grit on it, you'd have a lot of control. You know, I'm trying to maneuver this piece of paper, but a nail file would make it easier. Oh, that's going so great. Okay, very nice, nice and smooth, okay? And I'm just going to touch up some of these edges around the side. I mean, the ultimate goal is to make it look like it came that way, right? And I'm also going to control how much I don't want to scratch the shoe, so. Nice. I think this is an 80 grit, and it seems to really do the trick. So if you're wondering what to buy, just go for that. Now, as I said, I'm a shoe repairer, and usually for a half sole like this, you know, I'm around $30 for just a little plastic half sole. But, you know, it seems like a lot, but it's really not that much when you think about the care. You know, if you've got a cobbler that really cares about your stuff, they'll want to do it to make it look fantastic and have fun doing it. So it's really worth it. It's, you know, a bit of effort, as you can see. But I'm going to show you something here close up. So, I'm sanding this side because I cut it just a little bit rougher here. But this side, yeah, that's the one I'm sanding. It's got the little residue. Here's the side I cut, which is almost just right. But I'll put a little sanding touch on it anyway. I like it when it's really, really smooth. Just do a little bit around the toe, and then I think we're finished. Let's see if I can just trim that. The sharper your knife is, the easier it is to do. Just FYI. Very nice. Okay. We're almost finished. That's awesome. So this client, I'm going to do a video on it, but she is also bringing me it's a white vintage Chanel fanny pack. And I used to work for Chanel, and it's just so stunning and gorgeous, but the white just isn't as practical for her, so I'm going to dye the whole thing black, and I'm going to do a video on it so you can see that process. I get a lot of views on my how to dye leather, so all right, there we go. Done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just touch up this little area that I sanded, and I'm actually going to use the same color as the bottom of the shoe. I think I'll use the red. You know, it's kind of a combination. Let's just do our own color. Why get stuck with what somebody else makes for us? All right, here we go. And it's only a small little spot, so I'm just going to mix a little bit of color. There's that. And I think we're going to use this, a little bit of this darker kind of bluish red, although that's a pretty color. Actually, if you take a look, I'm going to show you. That's the red, and I think it's just about the right red for the bottom. So I'm just going to use that. And let's use, I like these little guys. These guys are great. Go ahead and just paint that. Awesome. I like that. That looks great. I really like that color on there. Nice. Blends right in. And that, my friends, is how you finish a taupey half sole. That's totally going to last for her. She can tromp around. She's going to do great. Now, let's go over a couple of other things that I put on the shopping list that you guys might be able to use. If you are a high heel fan, I put on this sole guard it's a sticker, it's clear. And it works too. They typically, and I think I have some here, but they typically fit closer in. I don't usually find any that go from end to end. So it would just be a little bit here. And in the long run, you really want to make that taupey fit from end to end. Because like I said, this leather is so thin, and as you wear on it, it will definitely wear through that side of that sole. So but it's a good, temporary fix. I also put on there the shoe stretchers, these really cute pink shoe stretchers. I have the old vintage ones because I have a real shoe repair shop, but they're not as cute as these pink ones. I want the pink ones, and they do all kinds of things. They'll stretch the width. They'll stretch bunion areas if you're having trouble with bunions, and if you wear heels, you probably do. So they'll do that. And they also do the length, which is really exciting, especially on such a high heel. My industrial grade stretcher that I've put on the shopping list for stretching doesn't do quite this steep, so it's nice to have that. But keep in mind that if you do that, don't overstretch the length, because you can never fix it. and that shoe will be sliding off of your heel, so, and you can't fix it. It's like one of the few things you just really can't fix. So don't overstretch them. And then also the Soulmates. Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm grabbing a pair to show you guys because they're awesome. Hold on. Okay, so these are some awesome things that I love for high heels. I specialize in wedding shoes and all kinds of fancy shoes. So this is what I was talking about as a sole protector. The ones I recommended on there are clear, and I like them better. They're a little bit bigger, but this is another one. And it has a peel back. Okay, you can just peel this back, and it now becomes your sole. But you see how it doesn't quite fit all the edges, so you really want to get a true fit. All right, so there we go. And then the Soulmates. Oh my God, these things are awesome. So if you're getting married or whatever, if you're outdoors and you need a little bit more coverage for the heel, this is what I recommend. I've sold so many of these to wedding parties and things. So they go on the back of the heel. This happens to be kind of a big one, but we're good. They make them really tiny for these little guys. They slide in and they give you all of this really great coverage. It actually goes like that. Okay, so you don't sink into the grass. That beeping is my running watch. I ran this morning, and so it's telling me to hurry up. I'm almost done. All right, so there we go. These are really great Soulmates, and they come in 3 different sizes. On this kind of a heel, which is a very skinny heel, they offer the narrow, the classic, and the wide. And so of course this one would be the narrow, and you would actually, you know, you can tell it has a little guide on the side here, and you can set your heel right on the side of the box and it'll tell you which size to buy. I hardly, unless it's a LouBoutin, LouBoutins will take the narrow mostly, but I do sell most of the classic. So if you've got some nice office shoes or some other pumps or something, you can get those will probably be fine, the classic. All right, so there we go. Let's see what else we have for you guys. I think that's about it. So I think we're done. I'd love to take your questions. You know, follow me on Amazon Live. I do videos every week, all different kinds of things. I also have a YouTube channel for more in-depth stuff, things that do overhead shots, and I'd love to hear your comments and questions. You can also reach me on my website at teriedmonds.com and send me an email. I get a lot of that. And I appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much. I love this job. And by you guys joining me, I get my work done and we get to spend time together. So thank you very much and have a great, safe weekend. Aloha from Maui.